Hello everybody, it's Dana Sullivan, your Stampin' Chick, here with another Make It Monday! How are you today, my friends? I hope you had a fabulous weekend. We had Thanksgiving on Thursday here in the United States, so we had a great time, a fabulous feast, and a lot of fun with some of our friends. So, I am here with you today with a fun project that is perfect for this cooler weather and the winter season, and I hope that you guys love it. I found these little mini coffee cups. Now they're paper with a plastic lid, but I found them on Amazon in a pack of 50, I believe, for $35 or something like that. And I thought that they would make a fabulous little treat. And I've seen a lot of really cute treat containers made using these, and so of course I had to try something for myself. And I've made this cute little carrying box, a little holder to put the coffee cup in, and of course I had to decorate the cup as well because it's plain and, you know, blah. But one thing that I noticed when I was figuring out what to fill the little cups with is that it holds a K-cup coffee pod almost perfectly. So I've got a Folgers caramel drizzle Keurig coffee in there, and I think this will make a nice little gift for someone special. So let's get started on what we need, okay? Alright, the first thing is I'm using the Perfectly Plaid Stamp and Punch bundle. And so I'm using the Merry Christmas stamp and then the little beautiful tree. I'm going to be embossing that, so of course you're going to need your heat tool, your Versamark embossing buddy, and then I'm using gold emboss powder, so you'll need all of those things. I'm also going to be using a 2-inch circle punch, and this is to create the hole that the coffee cup sits in. So you'll want the 2-inch punch. Then you're also going to need a template. I'll have the template posted on my blog so that you can see it there. But basically you need a 2.5-inch by 11-inch piece of cardstock, and then we're going to be doing some scoring at 4.5 inches, 7, 7 3/4, and 10 1/4. But I'll leave that right there for just a moment so you'll see. And then we're going to use that 2-inch circle punch to cut that hole out right there. Okay, then you're also going to need some designer series paper. I'm using the Perfectly Plaid designer series paper, so we're going to use a piece that measures 2 3/8 by 3.5. Another piece that measures 2 3/8 by 2 3/8 inch square, and one other piece that's 2 3/8 by 5/8 of an inch, and this is going to be our little front panel. Then you're also going to need, in this case, the layering ovals scalloped edge. This one measures 2 3/4, and then you'll need the coordinating stitched oval that matches it. So I believe it's 2 inches or 2 1/4 inches. Let me see. I don't want to guess. 2 1/4 inches. Okay, and then for the body of the coffee cup, I had to dismantle one, which I hated to do, but it gave me a nice template. And because I wanted to use the 6x6 paper, the coffee cup is a little bit too big for that. But what I found out is that it doesn't matter to have just a little section missing, because we're going to be able to cover that up, and I'll show you what I did. So what I did was I laid this template over a 6x6 piece of the DSP, and then I traced. And so you can see when I layer it on here where my edges were, and then I just cut across. Let me get a piece of 6x6 paper and you can see a little better what I'm talking about. All right. That would make sense. Okay, so what I did is I laid the 6x6 paper, and then I just went ahead like this because I don't want to waste very much paper, right? And if I do this, then I can get 2 on each sheet of 6x6 paper. So I drew around the edges here and then here. So even on these little sections here, I went ahead and drew around it, and that's how I got this. Okay, now it doesn't matter too much that it doesn't go all the way around because we're going to add a little piece of cardstock that coordinates with the box itself to the back side, and no one's going to see it, so it really doesn't matter. On this one, I have the red polka dot, and I used a piece of the cherry cobbler cardstock, which coordinates, and it's on there beautifully, and you really can't tell. And on the back, with it in the holder, you can't see it at all. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can use 12x12 paper, but I find that it wastes a lot, and I would rather just have the little strip, so that's what we're going to do. All right, so we have this cut. This is from our template. We have our template here for the holder. So here's the holder, here's the cup, and the back piece for that, and then the DSP to put on our holder. So let's go ahead and get our scoreboard out and get this scored. Alright, our first score mark is at 4.5 inches. Next is at 7 inches. 7 3/4 inches. And then 10 1/4 inches. Alright, now we've got that done. Okay, so it's going to come around like this. Alright, so you're just gonna curl it up and around on top of itself. So let's burnish our score lines here. Give it a nice crisp edge. Okay, now when we do this, we can see better where we need to put our designer series paper. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is get the big piece. You can hear Layla snoring. Poor baby. She is so tired. She's getting to be an old girl, and this cooler weather is not making much fun for her. So she's been sleeping a lot today. Alright, now we have that piece. And I'm going to check it just to be sure. I'm going to put the smaller piece on here. Don't look at my fingernail. Ugh. I'm going to put the smaller piece on here and then put the other square piece on here. I have to tell you that over Thanksgiving it chipped, and then I started picking at it, and it was awful. And yes, I should have changed my polish before I did my video, but hey, we're being real here. We're friends, aren't we? We're among friends. You don't judge. You just want to see the beautiful project. All right, now let's put this layer on right here. And again, I'm checking it to make sure that it's in the right spot. You see that I'm in the right area. Now we'll put this piece on. I just watched Miss Angie Judah do one of her live videos on Facebook today, and she has her nails done so pretty. They're red and green in alternating colors, and they look so cute and remind me that I need to get mine fixed, but that's okay. Alright, now, I'm going to tell you a quick little trick, alright? This is the section that we're going to cut the 2-inch circle. Now, you can take your punch and line it up and hope that you've got it lined up center, or you can take a piece of copy paper and punch out a circle and then put just a little bit of snail on the back side. And I touched it to my jeans so that it wasn't quite so sticky. And now I can see exactly where I want to line up my 2-inch circle so that I'm right in the middle. So I'll just go about like that. And then I'll take a look, and that looks pretty good to me. So then I can take my punch and I can line it up over that little die cut circle. And then I know that it's cut out in the right spot and it's not off-kiltered or anything like that. Okay, now I'm going to take some tear and tape and I'm going to put some across this little tab on the front. Now this is that first panel, so right there, and when you bring it around you can see that that's the right spot. Okay, so we want to burnish that down. Okay, here we go. Alright, now if you lay this down like this, then you can just fold this side over the top and it will line it up for you. And then straighten it up and your base is done. Isn't that cute? Okay, now let's get the cup and our DSP, and now I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to help curl it just a little bit so that it stays on the cup a little easier. You don't have to do this, but I really find that it wraps better if you do. Okay, and then bring in some more of that tear and tape on both sides. Here we go. Let's take this one off too. Alright, now I'm going to find my seam because I want that to be the back side, and so I want to start my my wrapper in the back also. So we'll just scooch it around a little bit, tuck it up under the rim, just so. There we go. Now as you see, there's this tiny little space here, and it looks big, but it's not going to look big at all when we're done, trust me. Okay, now we're going to take that cardstock and we're going to do the same thing as we did with the DSP to give it some curve. And I'm just breaking up the fibers a little bit because I want it to be nice and curved to go along with the cup. There we go. And then we'll put some tear and tape on that as well. Here we go. I've been getting ready for my Stampin' Bingo that's coming up in a couple of weeks, and I have chaos everywhere, so it's been a little hard to be on track and not be distracted with all sorts of things, but I'm making it. I'm really excited about the bingo because it's going to be so much fun. Our theme is Let It Snow, and I'm using the Snowman Season product suite. So I absolutely love that suite. It's in the holiday catalog. And you've seen me make a few projects with it already. It's just really pretty. I love it. Alright, now I have just a tiny little edge of paper, so I'm just going to take my snips and just follow the base of the cup. Nice and simple. There we go. There we are. Alright. You know, I could trim a little more off of that spot right there. There we go. There we go. Alright. Okay, now I'm going to put the lid back on. And you know what? Even when I did that, I forgot to say that I'm also going to use the 1-inch punch. And so this is going to be interesting because I'm going to take the 1-inch punch and I'm just going to punch a section out of that piece that we pulled out of the holder. So this section right here, I'm just going to snip a little out of it. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh my goodness. I meant the 1.5 inch. I messed up. I messed up. Okay, so do as I say and not as I do. And you're actually going to want the 1.5 inch punch to punch that out. And I did not. I used the 1-inch punch. So I have some really cute little 1-inch punch pieces, but that's not going to work on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this here, and it's just a piece of that coordinating cardstock, and I'm going to grab the 1.5 inch punch, and you're going to pretend that I used the 1.5 inch punch in the first place, or that I meant to do it with cardstock, whichever you prefer. Oh my goodness. And then I'm going to put that in place. Okay, so listen, do not use the 1-inch punch. When you punch this out, use the 1.5 inch punch. I can't believe I did that. So use the 1.5 inch punch and then put a couple of dimensionals on here. Now, if I had my regular Stampin' dimensionals at hand, I would just use one of those in the center, but since I don't, I'm just going to put 3 of these right here. Okay. So I'm just going to improvise and put the 3 little mini dimensionals there, and we'll have this fixed up in a jiffy. There we are. Okay. Alright, back on track. Oh my goodness. Okay. There we go. And then a 1.5 inch fits the top perfectly. So there we go. There's that, and I love it. Okay, that works. And then we're going to take some white baker's twine and tie it around this part of the lid and make a nice cute little bow, as you can see right here. And just in case it decided to be contrary, I went ahead and tied it ahead of time. So I'm just going to put it on there, and I'm glad that I did, because having already goofed on the punch, I surely would have had trouble tying it. All right, there we go. Now it's good. Okay, let's move along, please. All right, now I'm going to bring this scrap back in because I'm going to stamp and emboss the Christmas tree. I'm going to do that with the gold emboss powder. So let me make sure I've got everything set out here first. And I'm also going to do the sentiment. So let me make sure I've got them. There's my tree, there's my sentiment. Okay, stamping, embossing. All right, take your emboss buddy, and you guys know the drill already. Put your emboss buddy all over the area that you're planning on embossing. And let me cut that piece off the bottom because I know that's going to be a problem area for me. There we go. Okay, now let's put some Versamark on this stamp. Sorry if I'm messing up the camera, it's wiggly. Alright, and I'm going to stamp that straight down. And put some of the gold emboss powder. I love our gold emboss powder. You see that? It's beautiful and ready to go. Now I'm also going to go ahead and stamp the Merry Christmas sentiment. Get it on here so that I can just emboss the two at the same time. I'm going to try to line this up. Very good. Oops, there we go. And yes. All right. Now I have just a couple of little tiny spots that I want to get off. You have plenty of time. Once you get the powder on your Versamark, you have time to go back and pick any spots of embossing powder that are lingering on your piece. You've got time to get it all picked off and in place, okay? So just take a minute and look over your project to make sure that you don't have any little stray flakes of powder, because I promise you, if you have one tiny little speck and you say, oh, it's okay, I won't mind just one little speck, but then you emboss it and it gets really shiny and bright and it's very noticeable, you will really wish you had just picked that one little flake off. Ask me how I know. Trust that it's from experience. All right, friends, it's going to get loud for just a minute. Let me heat up my embossing gun, and while that's heating, I will go ahead and close up my Versamark and my embossing powder. With these handy little trays, you're able to dump the embossing powder back into the jar, so you can use it over and over and over again, and it lasts forever. Now, if you don't have one of those trays, you can use a coffee filter and it works just as well. Or I know that some people will also store their embossing powder in a little Ziploc, or what are they? Glad, or one of those other little plastic tubs with a lid. Alright, friends, here we go. Taking some heat, applying it, and Merry Christmas! Alright, now we'll set that to the side for just a second. Grab our Christmas tree. I love the way the gold looks. It's absolutely beautiful. What do you think? Do you like it? I hope that you do. Okay, now, where's my Christmas tree? As I said, I have a huge mess on my table, so I'm looking for everything today. Okay, so I'm taking the Christmas tree punch, and I'm just going to line it up. And I'm done with that. And I want to use some snail to attach this piece to this piece. So we'll do that. And then I'll get a few of those dimensionals. Put them on here. Come on, friend. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna put Merry Christmas right up near the top. Just like that. And then I'm gonna put a dimensional right here near the base of the tree. And stick that on. There we go. And the cup, and we are good. What do you think, friends? I love them. What cute little gifts for a party or a stocking stuffer or a coworker, a friend, or just because, for no reason whatsoever, just because you want to be kind. I hope that you guys have enjoyed today's tutorial and project, and I hope that you'll do one for yourself. And until next time, I hope that you have a wonderful day. Please visit my website at danasullivan.stampinup.net if you'd like to purchase any of the supplies that I used today. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.